Later, we are rolling.
Oh, we are?
Yep. The entire pocket.
Hey,
Also,
awesome.
whole pocket digging.
There it is.
That may have to fade in
had to
at the
get
end. That may at the end kind of fade back in as sort of a...
Well, I'm Jake Schriner.
I'm Bob Nelson.
I'm Tracey White.
And I'm Pastor Johnny Leckie, and this is the Compass Conversation Podcast. Welcome.
Howdy.
Hey.
Oh, man, I don't know.
Going downhill from some.
How inviting that was.
What is it that
just drew me in?
That's the hook right there.
There's the hook.
We will follow you. You have the name above every name. We will follow you, King Jesus.
All right, well, welcome back. Glad that you were here today. We did a little skipperoo last week, I think, so
Yep.
that was great. I needed that, so glad to be back. Welcome, friends. We're going to have a little conversation around the table is what's going to happen here.
First time we've all been together for several weeks, too.
That's true.
Doing
Yeah.
different things.
All right, well, let's just get started, see how everybody's doing. Jake, how you doing, man?
I'm good.
Welcome.
I'm
your,
good, thank
your
you.
sans
Yes,
facial hair.
it is gone. I trimmed the goatee a little too close yesterday morning before church and decided it was time to take it all off.
Yeah, let's
All
go.
right.
You look like a rock star or something.
Yeah, I feel very,
You got the long
I feel
hair,
much younger
but you're all-
and handsome. And
Wait, beards make you ugly?
That is correct.
Well, I do that and I lose my chin, so.
I think it's just the change.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't seen my shaved face in a while, so it's like, I like that. You know? And then after a while, I get sick of it and I'll grow the goatee back out and spend a few months doing that. So.
It looks great, man.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm good.
No, I'm doing really, really well. Today was the fifth day this year. I think only the fifth day this year that I've had a full yard crew.
Oh, yeah.
But I have a full yard crew again. Very excited. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
after more than a year of just trying to find people, I have a plethora of guys that have applied.
that's
a
good,
bunch of
good.
people that interviewed and picked a good one, and had another guy come back to work for me. So that's 3 people now that I've asked to return to work for Hillary and myself. So that feels pretty good too. So yeah, things are going well at work. Things are going really well at home. Really excited for this Christmas season. It's just a fun time of year. Everybody has their lights up around the neighborhood. I feel like everybody's in a little bit better mood.
Yeah.
Got our company Christmas party on Saturday at Top Golf.
Cool. Oh, that's fun.
That's a good. We used to go to like do like a steak dinner, back room. Everybody got dressed up nice and everything, and that's just so not. That's just like, I really like that. I'm a big fan of that, but as far as like pretty much everybody else at altitude, it is just not their
Just so
speed.
weird.
Yeah,
Like
like
my Lee Stain t-shirt kind of thing.
yeah, absolutely. So we had a guy show up in his like work uniform jacket once to a really nice steakhouse. So we're like, Top Golf and wings and sliders is definitely much more our speed.
That sounds
So
great, man.
so
That
we're
sounds fantastic.
yeah, so we're gonna have a really good time. So I'm looking forward to that. So then I got a trip out to see the folks, and then it's a couple good holidays, and then we're into the new year. So
Probably ought to send them a couple of Compass Church shirts.
yes, well my dad already got one.
Oh, did he?
He
Okay.
did. Yeah, he grabbed one when he was out here last time, and then
Okay.
I'll make sure to bring one for my mom too, so she.
That's
One's
right.
off.
It seems like every time they were here together, we left the box.
There's like t-shirts.
no
were
shirts.
there. Yeah, I'll make sure to grab one. I'll grab you one, Mom. Don't worry.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, awesome. Well, anything else you'd like to share before we move along?
Yeah.
All right, good.
Glad I'm
man.
here.
Glad you're here too. All right, we'll move right along to your right. Would you introduce the man to
Hello,
me?
Bob. This is Bob, everybody.
Hi.
Hi, Bob. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Bob.
Hi, Bob.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. The workload like drastically dived because it's too late for money to come in. So we're into the new year for our advisors, and so that means that the one advisor that dumped all the work that we did just didn't pan out, unfortunately. I don't think unless they figure out some gracious way to give him the promotion. Nope. So he'll just have to plan better for next year. So, but at the same time, it's nice to have been able to help him as much as I could on that side. I put up my Christmas lights outside yesterday, and yeah, so
This is shocking.
yeah, it is. So for those
Bob,
of you
your
who don't
middle
know,
name is
I'm a bit of a
Ebenezer.
Grinch. Yeah. But we had to do things a little different this year because the bushes in front of our patio grew up too high, and which I like because of privacy. But you can't see what we normally do, which is like right there on the railings. So I put it up above our door in just kind of an interesting way. I bought a couple extra strings of colored lights, and it looks really good.
Hey,
I'm
all
really
right.
excited about how it turned out. So and that's going to be my Christmas joy for the year.
No, it's going to be great. Thanks.
You have Christmas joy every year.
It's true. I do have Christmas joy.
Thank
every
you.
year.
I'll be here all night.
Yeah, she's everywhere. So,
Joyous.
yep. So, yeah, doing good. Yeah,
All
we had the granddaughters out for Thanksgiving. That was fun. So much fun. The butterfly pavilion with a 2.5 and a 4.5-year-old.
Oh.
Cannot lose.
Yes.
That's
And
amazing.
I held Rosie, the tarantula.
Ooh.
Yeah, she really liked me because my hand was really warm.
It would take money to get me to do
I
that.
got
Like
it.
a good amount of money.
Or showing off in front of your 4.5-year-old.
Nope.
Granddaughter.
I wouldn't even do it then.
I'd
It'd have
be
to
teaching her to stay away.
I had done it before, so it wasn't a big deal. So
like 4 digits at least.
Does it feel fuzzy?
so you don't actually want to touch a tarantula because they are hairy, but it's a defense mechanism. Those things are really they shed off the hairs, and it's really irritating.
Oh,
So
okay.
So yeah, but it hardly weighs anything. Despite I mean, it covered all. If she was snuggling, so she like kind of really moved in a
It
little
would
bit.
actually be ready to pounce.
Yeah. So, but
See
when
it
she
bending
was
its
kind
knees,
of
get
spread
her-
out, she was almost the entire size of my
Wow.
hand. So,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh. Well, all right, Bob. That's wigging me out. All right. So
That's what I'm here for.
introduce the man to the other side of the table.
Mr. Tracy.
Hello.
Tracy.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
My name is Tracy.
Hi, Tracy.
Hi.
I live here.
Oh my, how are you doing, man?
When I was young, living down in the Rio Grande Valley, and Dad, when the family pulled up after some outing, probably a church thing, into the driveway, and there were some tarantulas on the wall. Dad's like, just brush those off. So I grabbed the broom and brushed them off. You know, tarantulas, when they get scared, they jump. And so I
They
got
jumped at
landed
you?
on, yes. And,
Oh man.
yeah, that's probably
That would be legit.
the root of my
Yeah.
healthy fear
Yeah.
for large spiders.
Oh my soul.
Yeah.
I don't know how this became a spider thing. Let's move along. How are you doing?
Very tired. It was a busy, very busy weekend. It was a good weekend in the Air Force. We had our squadron Christmas party, which was really great because family was able to come out and hang out all together. So, but it just made for a really long weekend with not a lot of sleep. Don't feel very well.
Oh, no.
I think I got my flu shot this weekend, so I think it has to do with that. And then I don't know how to pronounce. Is it collegiality or collegiality?
Collegiality.
Collegiality, because you're colleagues, not colleges, right?
Yeah.
So that's
It'd be
why
like
it's
collegiate
collegiate.
peaks.
Okay, just wondering.
That's one of those English rules. You change that suffix and you
I
can
know.
change the.
That's actually really good. I'm not sure
The
I've ever
hard
heard
or
it used
soft.
in that respect from a colleague standpoint. So
We've lost everyone now.
Bye.
There's no one watching.
Yeah.
anymore.
We're back.
We're stuck on
So much for that
consonants.
hook at the beginning.
I can give you the spelling if you want to use that for the title.
We've been spending a minute or so talking about a consonant.
And then we are, in the middle of our bathroom is still ripped apart, and
Oh, that's right.
because of the big leak, and we had to tear everything out, and we're waiting on the new tub to come in, which was supposed to come in today, but it's not. It's like Thursday now, so then we get to go probably a whole nother week without a bathroom.
Hey, it's the holiday season.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce Johnny Leckie.
Oh, hi. Thank you. Thank you. You went from bathtub to introduce Johnny. That segue through me. I don't know.
I felt it. It was.
You felt it?
I was getting boring, so it's your turn.
Okay. Well, yeah. All right. Well, I'm glad to be here. I'm doing fine. It's a typical Monday for me. The only thing there's so many stories I can always tell, as you guys always know. So I'm not going to do that right now. It'll take too long. But so we have this thing that we're doing at the school that's karaoke day, and it's like the whole school is going to be in the room, and all of the teachers and people who work there are supposed to participate in this thing, and either form a group or whatever, and they lead some kind of song that they're supposed to try and get the kids to sing along with. I'm not sure how we're projecting the lyrics or whatever. So I'm thinking, oh, yeah, okay. And so Lori, you know, so you guys are gonna do something, right? She's talking to me and Luis, right? And Luis, he's not really a singer, and he's not really a dance guy either. And so, but we were like, yeah, sure. Well, then I'm thinking, oh, well, this might be kind of fun. You know, I can get out, I can, maybe play something, kind of show off a little bit. Kids who've never heard me play anything, sing. And I got an email from, she's such a sweet teacher. And she's like, hey, I thought it'd be kind of fun if you and Luis could join me in this thing. We could make a team. I talked to your wife. She said it was probably okay. I'm thinking, all right, thanks. So anyway, so here's the deal. Next week, I'm going to be with the guitar, with Luis doing some motions. She's going to sing. Her name is Bethany. She's going to sing along. And we are doing Tony Chestnut.
Okay.
Nobody's heard of it, right?
That's correct.
It's not like Tommy Tomato. He vomits, right? You ever seen Tommy Tomato?
No.
That's when you get a little tomato, you cut it in half, and you go, and it goes like that. Tommy Tomato.
Okay.
It's not that.
I know Bob
It's not head and fingers. No. It's Tony Chestnut. How I love you. Dun, dun, dun. Anyway, so I'm doing the Tony Chestnut song. Which is not what I would have chosen, but it's turned out pretty funny because we went in with her class and we did it, and she primed that pump with all those fifth graders, right? Doing a song where it's like Tony Chestnut, Tony Chestnut, and then his sister Eileen. I mean, it goes through this whole thing. And they're doing all emotions. They're singing. They're like, "You have a guitar. That's really good."
That's great.
I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be crazy. So anyway, that's going to be my claim to fame. Going into the holidays is doing Tony Chestnut from the Learning Center.
We only have one favor to ask, and that is record it.
You can come play at home. Why don't you come join me? Give a bit more. You can play bass.
What day?
I don't know. It's like next Thursday, I think. Depends on the day. It's during the morning. The whole thing's gonna last about 3 or 4 minutes max when we're doing that. So it's just one song, but it was pretty funny. All right, so not how I wanted to introduce my musical anything to the whole school,
But you got us off Spider, so there's the good news.
That's right.
That's true. Maybe. All right, well, let's move along. Okay, we've lost people like 5 times.
Yeah, seriously.
And some of them are sitting here right now. So,
Johnny, I showed up lost.
yeah. Well, all right, what do you guys want to talk about? We got a lot coming up. We had stuff happen this Sunday, and you missed that. Still haven't seen it. We can fill you in a little on that if you want. Anything from last week, Thanksgiving stuff, or what do you guys want to talk about?
I figured out a segue to yesterday's message about being lost.
Steven!
I almost did that. Thought Morey wasn't there.
He wasn't?
Yeah, he's up in Greeley.
He's visiting.
Well, he's got pneumonia, too.
Oh, does he have pneumonia?
Yes.
Is he going to be here tonight with pneumonia?
I have no idea.
My
I think
goodness.
he's on the recovering end of it.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yowza.
Bless his heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a moment. So,
Yeah, so
about all that, we can talk.
So the segue you were talking about, it was the road of murder.
The road of murder.
Started with the road of murder.
Yeah.
Murder Road.
Scene 1.
Then it went to the straight that went street. Street went straight, and then it was the road to Damascus, or the road
No,
to
no, you got
Damascus.
them back.
Then the
There's a
street.
street, yeah.
Then the street that was straight. And, yeah. So
Street called straight.
Yep.
And then
And
it was
then-
the road to life, or the way.
Yep, exactly. The way to life, and how we avoid lostness, so and get foundness.
Found.
Lostness.
Did I say that? What?
Yeah. So why? The English language. Why
He's talking about it.
Lostness is fine. Foundness is not.
But fondness is like,
Fondness of lost.
And there's 6 times.
Oh my goodness.
We've lost everybody.
Now I will say about the structure of this.
And we're back.
I've got Ed. Hey, welcome back. Thanks for joining us tonight. They've gone to the bathroom. They left. They came back. They're not even sure.
Got lost on the way.
Got lost on the way. The form and format of the way I spoke was unconventional because, but I found that it's more memorable. Like when instead of saying, now point 1 is blah, 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 I said, picture this happening because there was a lot of scripture. Basically, it was about in the road trip series, I called it The Road to Damascus and the Street Called Straight. That was what that was. So you know what this is about, right? It's Saul, Paul, Saul. But I broke
apostle
it.
formerly known as Saul.
He still was known as Saul. We talked about
Yes.
that. But anyway, I just said let's picture scenes here in this deal, and so it started back with him being at the stoning of Stephen.
Uh-huh.
So we talked about Stephen. And then the next scene was the road to Damascus. Then the next scene was the street called Straight, and then the next scene was him moving forward from there. So the way or the road to life. So
Can I just say that the way is like the coolest name for
And then,
Christianity of like all time.
Yeah.
There is a
the
church.
way. Like
There is a
it's so
church.
cool. I think. Yeah.
there is a church in south of here that's called like the Way Church or something
Really?
like that.
I
don't
it's
think
just
they're
a-
called. But,
It's a cool name.
Well, we listen to
Followers of the
Way
Way.
FM.
Way
For the Christian radio.
and it's way cool.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, the way isn't that interesting? I mean, it didn't really catch on for very long, I don't think, but yeah, it was cool. It was bold enough and it was prevalent enough that that's what it's recorded in scripture
Right.
that way.
And the reason that it was called the way was because of Jesus saying, "I am the way, the truth,
Yes.
and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." And so they were saying, "This is the Jesus in that respect."
this is the way.
The way was
Followers of the way.
followers of the way is followers of Jesus. So
Yeah. Well, what about that? Anything? It seemed to be kind of a long message, but
it was a lot. I liked the message one because it started off with the murder row.
yeah.
The road of murder.
The road of murder.
When you can't look at that story of Paul and his conversion without going, okay, I've never murdered anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
So, but he still
Yes.
became one of the kind of almost the apostle of apostles in a lot of ways. He wrote 2/3 of the New Testament,
Right.
and a whole bunch of other stuff we know that he wrote, so that just never got kept and preserved the way his other letters did, because that's how he communicated with everybody. And the change is amazing between sitting there holding. Well, I guess he didn't murder anybody, but he was an accessory to the fact.
At least in
Right.
that instance.
Yeah.
You do get the impression that maybe he did participate.
Yeah.
But yeah. this is
Breathing
explicit.
murderous threats.
Yeah, breathing threats
breathing
and
murder,
murder
that's-
and ravaging the church and throwing people into prison and,
Yeah.
and agreeing with, oh yeah, that guy needs to die. It's pretty, you get the impression maybe he did.
It seems reasonable that he was involved somehow or another. And it definitely facilitated a whole lot of them if he didn't actually kill anybody himself.
He's an accessory before, after, and
Yeah,
during
Yeah,
the
exactly.
act. He would have gone to jail today.
Yep.
I find it interesting that he would use because like you were saying, the difference between Paul and Saul, which I think most people obviously don't know that. It's a fun
Yeah.
little fact.
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
He did not change his name after his encounter with Christ.
Yes.
He already had
It is
both names.
It's a common misperception. I mean, because that happens so often in Scripture. That is what we think. Like Abram became Abraham, and others,
Fairly
but
close.
yeah.
Yeah.
Saul, the Hebrew name. Paul is more of a Roman.
So you
name.
would think that when he's doing more of his like work and writing all of his letters to the new churches and stuff, why wouldn't he use his Hebrew name And instead is and then but during his time like persecuting Christians, you would think he'd go by his like Roman name, right? And then go back. It seems almost like backwards.
That's great. That is a great question, Jake, because when Paul, as Saul, right, was doing that, he was zealous as a Jew.
Right.
He was proud of his being a Jew. So he was not like hiding.
Gotcha.
So it really was, no, I'm defending the law. He felt like there's a story in the Old Testament about a guy who is so zealous for the Lord against the enemy, he puts a javelin through a dude. It's in the I think it's in Numbers actually, and it's celebrated that he was literally stopping this horrible rebellion of whatever anyway. And Paul may have been feeling kind of like that. He was preserving, the integrity of Israel. He thought he was doing the right thing.
Right. So he was persecuting Christians in the name of like
in the
Judaism,
name of God,
not in the name of
Judaism.
like Romans or anything.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, because he was a Pharisee. He was, Pharisee of Pharisees. Yeah. So all of his frustration and anger and venting towards these newfound Christians were like they were a sect of Judaism that was making it impure and off track, like a cult of some kind.
Gotcha.
So that's why he did that. And then as he's, like I said, the first time you start seeing him being referred to as Paul is when he's in Cyprus, which is, he's out of the Judaism. He's relating to the Greeks and he's relating to
so he's going by his Roman name more there.
It's like, they're now, I think it was a governor or somebody named Paulus in Cyprus. And some have kind of conjectured that maybe he kind of picked up on that. His name was already Paul, but he started using that more often. Associating. But not necessarily. We don't know that that's the case.
But it does make some kind of sense though, because when Jesus is talking to Ananias in his vision, he says, "I'm going to send him to the Gentiles." So he's already like earmarked to head that way for the Gentiles. So it would make sense. And there's another passage where he says, I am this kind of person to these people, and this kind of person to those people, and whatnot.
Yeah, all things to all men.
Exactly. Yeah. So he wants to make sure that he does make that connection, that he contextually fits into sorry, throwing out a church planting word.
Well, that's really cool because that is sort of what he did. I mean, he would go and he would find, like even when he was on Mars Hill, and we haven't talked about this very much in Acts, but he's there and he's looking around, and there are all these philosophers, they love to sit and talk, and then there were all of these statues to various gods, and he looks around and sees one to an unknown god. He goes, I want to talk to you about this guy, right?
That's the one that takes care of everything else the other way.
So he would find a way to connect so that he could share the gospel. And if it was a Jewish setting, he would honor that, and he wouldn't disrespect those guys. He would come in and he would speak Jewish stuff, right? He would do Jewish things. And even when he was attacked, I think it was when they pick him up and they're like dragging him outside the Colosseum where they're like chanting for like hours because he stirred things up. He addresses one dude in, I think it's Aramaic, and then he says something else in Hebrew, and everything changes because they realize, oh, wait, you're talking to me in a language I wasn't expecting from you. And it changed everything. So it was brilliant the way God knew what he was doing when he worked with Paul. This guy, it was like he was so close to the gospel that he was so far against it. So that when he got it together, it was like, it all focused in, and all of his learning, and all of his ability to speak, and all of his ability to argue, and all those things, God just used that powerfully.
Even that one passage, he starts out, as soon as he's converted, to take him to the synagogue.
Yeah, he immediately starts
arguing it for Jesus as the Messiah.
Yes.
So it's like all those connections are made right there with that that acceptance as Jesus as Lord. So it's really cool.
It is an amazing story. I mean, one thing I didn't say I wish I had said, and wanted to say, and somehow I just didn't get to it at the end. And that was that whole idea you were just saying. It's like, if God can save a guy named Paul, he can certainly save you, right? I mean, no matter where you are or what you've done. So I covered the song.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be in that context, but I lost it. So oh well, it's all right. So what else about that? But yeah, the name thing. That is it's an interesting one because it was so long. He would still be referred to as Saul. Even the Holy Spirit speaks to Ananias and calls him Saul.
Yeah.
So I mean, he obviously didn't change his name right then. So he didn't go from Saul to Paul. He, I think, just strategically began to use Paul in those settings, and because those other churches, most of the churches like the Galatians, Philippians, all those were Greek
Right, they're all they're
churches,
Greek.
so they knew it was Paul.
Right.
But fascinating kind of stuff. There is one other thing about this that I didn't spend as much time on, but I still just love, and it is Ananias. Right? So, God speaks to Ananias and tells him to go. And it's that whole idea. Paul had been persecuting the church, and God sends the church to bless and minister to him. And this guy was not, at least from all indications, he wasn't like some big leader in the church. He wasn't some priest. He wasn't a prophet. He was a different Ananias who was. But it wasn't him. He was just a disciple in Damascus. He was the guy who just happened to be there in Damascus, and God said, hey, no, I want you to go do this. And that, to me, is such a powerful thing about how God wants to use all of us. He loves to use and work through us. And
Ananias' faith must have been like rock
Yeah.
solid. Like, okay, God talks to you, and your response is,
Seriously.
"Here I am, Lord." Like, how do you? Okay,
Yeah,
I
immediately.
would be a little scared.
Like,
probably.
whoa,
Like,
What I do?
no, but he just said, he says, "Here I am.
Here I am.
What do you need of me? Whatever." And just he listens. He goes and does it, and he even says, "We've heard about this guy."
Yeah, he's
we
already
know this guy Saul. We don't want to,
He's a little nervous about it. Yeah. I love that that's thrown in because that makes it more real and more honest.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But that was the point of the details, I really believe. I mean, he's specifically saying, this guy on this street, in this house, he's doing this, he's already waiting for you. So with each step, it's just verified. But anyway, I just love that. I just love it. It's just a reminder that God wants to use you, he wants to use me, he wants to use everybody who's willing, because it's about him, not about us anyway. So.
It's true. If you want to bring into the Christmas season, Joseph and Mary, they were nobodies in a nobody town.
No kidding.
So,
They just happened to be of the right lineage, to fulfill the prophecy. But there were a lot of people who were.
yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
They-
Didn't have to be them.
There's a whole lot of trickle down from David to everybody else. So that's
It's that, I'm trying to decide. I mean, I've had this on my calendar that I might end the road trip series with like the road to Bethlehem.
Oh.
But it might be too on point, too on the nose. So it's either that or it ends, I think it's next week. I think there's only one more. We're going to be in Revelation. Hey,
Hey.
the end of the road. I'm just kidding. All right. Anything else about yesterday of the week? I know we're getting short on time.
We had because we didn't do a podcast last week, but we had the Lord's Supper 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we did. That's right. That was great.
Last week, wasn't last week Big Sunday?
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was
that
2 weeks ago.
good, Yeah.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago we did the Lord's Supper. Last week.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
it was
Yeah,
Sunday.
you're right.
And we ended the service yesterday with a whirlwind of children.
Yes.
Yeah.
literally.
Oh, man. It was hilarious to me.
That's great.
In fact, I think that is the thumbnail. I think I put that as the.
Oh, did you?
Some version, yes, of Harper and Meadow. They started running circles around me as I was doing the final kind of words.
And then you joined in, but it was a little
And
distracting.
then I started running.
I could see you were worried about stepping on one of them.
I didn't want this to go too far. Well, what was so great was, and I've always said this, is like if it's out of control, I will say something or do something. And so I wanted to. That wasn't during the message; it was at the very end of the service. But what was so great was when I said, "All right, girls, we're going to be quiet for a minute. I'm going to pray." Okay, so they got quiet and they got still. It was
That's awesome.
fantastic.
Yeah, that's good.
Loved it. Yeah. So some very funny. If you don't see the whole message, just fast forward to near the end just to see those girls. So much
Gonna do
energy, so
that.
much fun.
Watch from beginning to end.
All right. Okay.
Oh.
All right, guys. Well,
Fast forward through the message.
anything,
No.
anything else you guys want to talk about? I know we could talk about what's coming up.
We can.
We can.
It's gonna be. We're gonna do our Christmas service, Christmas Eve, and not do a service on Christmas morning.
At least not in person.
Not in person, right? It'll
And
be
we are going to have a
online.
service. It'll be
Right.
short, but yes.
Yep.
All right, I can't wait to see
Pajama.
what sort of jammies.
Yes. Now I've committed publicly for Leona and I to be in matching jammies.
So the question
Christmas
is that a big Sunday?
It's always a big Sunday, man. Every Sunday's a big Sunday.
Because the following Sunday really is the last Sunday of the month.
No,
because
that's
the
the-
first is on a
that's the
Monday,
first.
The
right?
first is a Sunday.
Oh, that's right. The first
Yeah.
is a Sunday. So
And we will be in person for that.
Yeah,
Yeah?
Christmas will be the last
Okay.
Sunday.
New day. Yep.
Ooh, we're all gonna be tired.
Well,
Even
you
if you
have a
want to
week.
go to sleep, on New Year's Eve,
New Year's Eve?
the rest of the world that's staying up and launching fireworks and everything, you will not be able to
Mhm.
sleep. So
Well, it's a base camp, though.
Yeah.
So it'll be,
we'll have a good time.
pretty low commitment level. Just be there. Come rolling in, try to keep your eyes open. So, and maybe it's a little reminder to not be too crazy the night before.
Try to sleep. We always try to sleep. Well, usually on New Year's we try, but into the night, like the wee hours of them. There's always fireworks going on.
Oh,
these
yeah.
days.
Yes.
Yeah, same
Yeah,
with
around where I
with
am,
us
too.
too.
Yeah. 4th of July is just horrible. You're right down the street. Yeah.
Dude.
Big and loud fireworks. So,
I don't know what it was. Yeah, it wasn't this past year, but the year before, driving home from 4th of July on Hamden, coming off of 225.
oh.
It was maybe like 11 o'clock at night when we were driving. I swear there were fireworks like shooting across the street.
Oh, yeah.
But it felt like a war zone. Like it was 4th of July. It was pretty intense.
Yeah.
Oh, my soul.
Yeah, they get going with fireworks around here for sure. I heard them going off the other night. Like
Just for no reason at all.
like 11 o'clock at night, someone set off like 3 or 4 mortars in a
Oh,
row.
my
Just
Yeah, it's because they bought
Why
them
not?
for New Year's and they were like,
Right.
let's go ahead and
Test 'em.
start early.
Test 'em out.
test them out a little
Yeah.
bit, make sure they're working.
All right, this is a weird ending to our podcast. Starting weird, it's ending weird.
I have a
All right.
story about spiders real quick.
Okay, let's hear it. You got a spider story?
Actually,
I was going to ask you, why are you scared of spiders?
Did you say you're scared?
You were scared of
Are
me.
you scared?
All right. Well, hey, anything else before we go to our final words this evening?
Oh, good.
I love that silence.
Stay awake.
All right. Well, you know what? We meet somewhere in the world every week, but always online. And you can find us on Facebook at Compass Church Colorado. And you can discover more at compassdenver.com. We'd love to have you as our guest this Sunday. All right, guys, final words.
Love you guys. Love everyone out there.
Likewise.
this has been great.
Grace and peace to you. That is all we have for tonight, and we are out.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
Till the next time. More spider schools.
Don't let the big war.
Fade to black.
You have to wait till you see that and actually fade to black when Jake claps. You don't know why I'm not recording. Now, here's Johnny digging in his pocket while we wait for...
Pull out some coins and a paper
that.
clip.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, not that. No, not the old man hanky.
How big are your pockets?
There it is.
Pocket of holding.
Just goofing around. Wait, where's the other one? I had 2 things of taffy. Those are gifts from Dirk at the end of the day. He always goes, Johnny, want some taffy? I'm never saying no to that.